Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for December 20th, 2020. This is going to be the last 20 of 2020 that we could be talking about. And I have to say, we've gotten some reveals, a lot of Legends heavy reveals, and there's some information on all spectrums. We also have I went on a road trip to see what's going on in actual stores, hit quite a few Walmarts, Targets, and other stores, and I've got some pictures to show from that. We're going to talk about all this great stuff coming up. So I want to start talking about Show Z. I want to point out that if you go there right now, you can pre-order every single Gigapower figure. Every one of them. You can get one of each. Now, I'm not sure that they're all going to be the Chrome version. I think they're all the Chrome version, but that's the one I like the most. And I know a lot of people like the metallic version a little bit better, but that's not my preference. So you can go get one of each. You can pick the color of your swoop if you want to right now. And the other thing is, these are so well priced at Show Z, or just the fact that they're Gigapower, that you could sell one of your Fans Toys if you have a Fans Toys laying around and pay for 3 of these. So Zeta came out this week revealing some pictures of their clear version of the Aerial Bots, and I think it looks kind of cool. Now, granted, we don't want this thing to take a shelf dive because this clear plastic breaks easy, so please do not let your clear Superion take a shelf dive. But I think it does look pretty cool, and me personally, Superion is my favorite combiner by far, way above any of the other ones. Any of the other ones are maybe a very close second, so I really think it's cool. I'm not in on it because I don't need that many Superions. I'm just happy with the one I have, but I appreciate what they're doing with this. They also released pictures of every single one of the limbs, but I think we kind of get the point. We don't want to really beat this to death, but the point of what they're going to look like. And I think it looks cool. It's interesting. Again, Zeta's taken this on as their own project. Fans Toys tried to outsource it, but I think that did not work. And then they did it themselves. But anyhow, I like the fact that Zeta's taken this on and they're doing a good job with it. Hopefully it's a good job. Hopefully it's not too brittle and doesn't break too bad. So we've got some pictures from Make Toys about their downbeat, the EX version, the extra painted version. I have to say, I mean, looking at mine and looking at this, I don't see a whole lot of difference, but I do see some difference. It looks like the stickers on the waist are different. The color of the thighs are slightly different. And so just kind of looking at the comparison here, there's a slight difference. Here's the thing. It's an excuse to make it again. It's slightly different, and it shows that they're still around. I want Make Toys to stay around, to stick around, because I really do want them to make those headmasters. Here it is in the alt mode, and again, it looks good. It's a great car. It's a great figure. Both modes look good. Transformation is not too bad, and really, I think we're so far out from Fans Toys giving us one. I think that Takara's coming up with a 90 excuses not to give us one. So at the end of the day, this is the best option on the market now. And if Fans Toys gives us one in 2026, I mean, you've enjoyed this from now to 2026, right? And I don't really know why, but a lot of the other sites I really don't go to, Chosen Prime is one of them, have been pushing this Make Toys as, hey, pre-order this from us, pre-order this from us. So they must have some inside information that this is really coming to fruition. Make Toys is still around. Make Toys is still going to get these figures out. And I'm not so much as excited for this one because I have it already. I'm more excited for the other two Seekers and the possibilities of getting those headmasters and what else Make Toys can do. I don't want to lose them. I want them to stick around. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we've had an event this past week. They produced some pictures of a lot of stuff going on. Here we go with Generation Toys, and this thing is fully combined. I know a lot of people are waiting to complete this thing. It's taken like 3 years or something like that. I think it looks good. I really am kind of curious why the main bot is so dark. I remember a lighter blue, and that's, in my mind, it should be a lighter blue. So I don't know if this is like prototype, hey, we're not sure about the colors yet. but if I was in on this set, I'd be a little disappointed in that darker blue. But past that, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I would be happy to have this as a Defensor on my shelf if there were no other options coming, if there was no more MMC, and I gotta tell you, I'm waiting till the end of X Transbots to even consider the X Transbots version. So we have seen 3.0 come out with this deluxe version of Optimus Prime and Jetfire, and it's a pretty grainy, lousy photo, and Jetfire is not fully painted, but you can kind of get the gist of where they're going with it. 3.0 does excellent work. The paint is top notch, and the articulation is top notch. The price is top notch. But I think these look really good, and my appreciation for Jetfire, just because I am a Jetfire lover, I was disappointed with what Michael Bay did with them, but this does look a lot like the movie, so they're doing a really good job over there at 3.0, and I'm curious how this shapes up. So we got to talk about the DX9 rumors about closing down. And I have to admit that it took me by surprise when I started hearing people talking about this and the rumors of this. But when you actually read the translation, they just basically say, farewell, we're changing our name. So DX9 is probably going to change their name. I personally think it has something to do with the fact that they actually use the drag strip name. I mean, that's bold. That's more bold than we've seen any other company do. That's more bold than Zeta. That's more bold than anything Fans Toys has ever done, or X Transbots. That's bold. So I could see them seeing the writing on the wall, change your name, come back as something else. Now, we know that DX9 has been involved with Unique Toys. They've been involved with New Age in the Legends scale. So DX9 is not, there's nothing new to changing their name. It's no big deal, and nothing has changed from distributors and pre-orders and all the stuff that's coming out from them. Nothing's changed at all, and I like DX9. DX9's contributed quite a bit to the community, and I think they're going to continue to contribute in a different way, just with a different name. Getting into some Legends news, I've found pricing on the limbs for Zeta's Superion, the Legend Superion, and they're going to be $40 per limb. So you break it on down, 4 limbs is $160. So the real question is, how much will Silverbolt be? Now, Zeta has always been a budget option, and I'm guessing $60 to $70 for Silverbolt, which would put the price of the total combiner at approximately $220. And I have to say that I actually think these look a little bit better than their Masterpiece, and I don't know how they did it and pulled it off with smaller figures, but maybe when I get them in hand, they're exactly the same and just shrunk down, and maybe just because they're smaller, and we're used to giving Legends a pass because they're so small, maybe that's why I like them better and they look better. But anyway, at a Legends scale, they do look really good. Now I want to point out Magic Square took their pricing from the X Transbots school of things with their Menasor. They're coming out with their limbs at 2 for $50, so 25 a piece. There's going to be 2 sets of 50, so the limbs are 100 for the 4 limbs, but they're going to charge you $130 for the Motormaster and the trailer and basically the parts to build this. So it's going to be like $229 to get the whole thing built, and that's about the same price that I would assume you'd get out of Zeta. But the big question mark, if Zeta's going to copy this model and charge $130 for their Silverbolt, then that Zeta one will be ridiculously expensive. And ShowZ is showing their price now at $45 on the Magic Square version of this beautiful, beautiful Ultra Magnus. I don't really know why we need an Ultra Magnus 2.0 before a bunch of other characters, but I guess they're keeping up with the Joneses, and the Joneses are named New Age. So let's see what all Magic Square's going to have to do to keep up with New Age. They're coming out with this H25 Herbie, which I guess is another version of Bumblebee, which will get retooled into eventually getting a Cliff Jumper. See, I don't know why Cliffjumper gets a shaft all the time. He always gets a shaft. But now we're going to get another Bumblebee from a company that's already made a decent one. But here we go. He looks good. He looks okay. Some people are touting, it's better than Masterpiece. I don't think so. I think he's got some issues. He's not perfect. But he's not bad. Looking at his alt mode here. His alt mode looks okay. I just was thinking, you know, why are they going this far doing like already a 2.0 of a character they did okay with in the first place? And no, Magic Square, you don't need to make a Bumblebee 2. But if you want to, go ahead. So, we've got Iron Factory with a ton of reveals at SGC 2020. And this is crazy. This Alpha Trion looked good. He is stylized, he's not Super G1, and you don't expect that from Iron Factory, but the thing is, it transforms, and it transforms into something that might go incognito as a sweep. That looks pretty good, it looks cool, I'm on board with that. Next up, they're doing some cone heads here. I think they're really riding that whole craze of the G2 Sandstorm. That's what it looks like to me. I don't have a whole lot of info on this, and then the other Seeker next to it, they've been using the Seeker mold for a while, so it looks good, it looks cool, interesting stuff coming out from them. Now I gotta admit, I'm not really too hip on this Beachcomber. I really think it looks weird, but I know a lot of people that are in love with Iron Factory is gonna buy it up, they're gonna love it. I probably will pass on it. I think it's okay, but it's not for me. But I can see the good in it. I can see they're going with their own style, and they're giving you everything they can. Now, I feel the same way about Sea Spray. I think Sea Spray looks a little weird. I think a lot of people will love it. I have to admit, the alt mode looks really cool. It's way different than anything I expected, but it looks kind of cool. And the bot mode is just way different than what I would expect for Sea Spray. But, again, this company does everything stylized. Now, I actually do like this. I like the Huffer. I think he looks really cool. He's not Super G1, but he's G1 enough for me. And the alt mode, it almost looks like he'd be some sort of a racing truck. It's kind of cool. You're going to get yourself a pipes out of the deal too, so that will work. So you can have both of them side by side. And it's interesting to see how many parts they changed, how much retooling they did between the two of these. Like, they didn't just completely share it all. They shared very little, enough to make it worth doing two different figures, and they look so different. We got ourselves a Samurai Ratchet over here, and if that's a thing that you're in for, then you're in for it. My problem is the alt mode just looks completely botched. I just think the alt mode is way out there. I mean, I understand stylized, but this is beyond stylized. Anyway, I know a lot of people are going to love this and get it anyway. Talking about some mainline stuff here, we got this Earthrise upgrade kit for RC. This is coming from Go Better. I guess they're Go Better Toys. Go Better. Do Better, Hasbro. But I like this because it makes your Earthrise RC look good in bot mode. But only in bot mode. And here's the thing. This will make it to where it cannot transform. And if that's a problem, I mean, if you got a problem with that, then I'm sorry. But you're going to get so much more out of it. You're going to get all of these filler pieces. And they're not like small clipping. They're complete total thigh, complete total lower leg. It just makes the figure look really good. It turns the Earthrise into a red figure, but too tall to be a red figure because it's Earthrise, it's mainline. Yeah. It also does a whole lot of other stuff. It just looks really good. I think from all these different angles, this looks like RC. This is the RC I would expect to have on my shelf, and pretty much fixes every problem I have. Now, looking at this here, this is what really shows the back. I mean, I don't really care about the back so much, but it did kind of bother me how panely it was and choppy it was. And now you just got to 4 pieces of plastic fix all that, and then a couple pieces of plastic that you pop off and replace with. It looks good. I'm guessing it's going to cost $30 to upgrade a 1788 figure. Yeah, I saw her for 1788 at Walmart. I should have got a second one, and I was like, why do I need a second one? I've got like 9 RCs right now. But this is why. This is why I need a second one. So I don't know if you guys remember a couple months ago I was telling you they're going to reissue the good old Combiner Ors Devastator, and I think this Devastator is great. It's a good figure. I don't hate on it or anything, but I kept my Takara's version because they had a few upgrades, some more paint apps, and biddable elbows, individual figures and stuff. But this thing's gonna be $150, and I had sold my extra one for $250. So I'm thinking, this is actually needed and wanted in the collecting world. But I will point out the downfalls to this. The knees are really at the upper thigh, since it's the wrong place to have the knees. The arms are super skinny, and the left foot needs an upgrade kit. So an upgrade kit fixes most of these. You can't fix those knees, but you can fix the shoulders and the foot, and then add a little bit more articulation to the fingers and stuff with an upgrade kit. But here's the problem: those upgrade kits are now like 6 years old and sold out everywhere. So getting a secondary market upgrade kit might be hard. Maybe you could track one down. Maybe you can find one. If you're going to get in on this, I would say get the upgrade kit. So in case you missed these the first go around, Amazon has these on sale now for $16.99. And this is what they call their Cybertron Galactic Odyssey collection. And this is the Autobot clones. And I think they're good. I think that what Hasbro did with them is good, but now they're on sale and they're an Amazon exclusive. Here's the way Amazon works. They have an exclusive, they want to get rid of it. And then once this stuff sells out, then third-party vendors start selling it for ridiculous prices. So I've got a sale on it right now. I'll link it to you, and hopefully you can pick it up if you want it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. The other thing that really surprised me, this, I don't know why it surprised me, but it surprised me, is this G2 Sandstorm Conehead selling out everywhere. And I was like, I guess I'm about to go ahead and pre-order one of these. And I started looking around, couldn't find them anywhere. Oddly enough, I found him on TF Source, and he's $35. Now, if you were buying him anywhere else for $29.99, the taxes on it, it's like almost $33. So it's $2 more than I would have paid anywhere else. But I pre-ordered mine through TF Source, and I kind of need to ship my stack anyway, so it'll help me out. But if you're looking for this, go to TF Source. They're going to sell out pretty quick too, once everybody knows about this. But if you want to dial out a bunch of Coneheads, then this guy is one you need. Speaking of Coneheads, I actually went on a road trip, and I found this guy. I found Thrust. Now, he was up there, and he was on sale for $26.99. Of course, he still rang up $29.99. And I took the picture for the show here, right? But it helped me out at checkout because I was like, look, it says $26.99. So they took care of me. I didn't have to pay the $29. I got the $3 off, whatever. But I would have paid the $30 anyway. It's not a big deal. This is exciting to actually find it in the wild. And it's telling me you need to check your targets because they're showing up. So Wave 2 of the Netflix, Walmart, showing up everywhere. But Bumblebee is really hard to find. He's not just hard to find. He's extremely hard to find. And I want to point this out because there was a time where we were inundated with a new Optimus Prime and a new Bumblebee every single week. We had 52 of them a year. And it seemed crazy, but they starved us of Bumblebee. And now everybody wants this thing. And everybody's buying this thing as soon as they see it. Because it does look pretty good. It does not look bad. I haven't opened mine yet. But I got a hold of one. It took me a bit to get a hold of one. But this thing is really hard to find. And I'm a little bit surprised. Because I thought everybody was Bumblebee'd out. But it's been like 2 years since the whole Bumblebee extraordinaire. And they stopped it. Speaking of Bumblebee, we're seeing the Gold Bug show up. And the Gold Armor Bumblebee, you're a gold bug. it's still 18 bucks. It's a Super 7 version, and I have to say, Super 7 Transformers are not for everyone. They don't transform. They're like Action Masters. But if you're gonna buy this, 90% of the people want to keep this on a card back. And I understand that, and that's what I do with mine. But I want to point out something. These are not highly sought after. You know why I say that is because I bought Wave 1, getting excited. I found a deal. I actually found a deal. I got mine for like about 15 bucks a piece. But most retailers that sell the Wave 1 still have them in stock. They have not sold out, and Wave 2 will probably still be in stock. They're just not that highly sought after. I just think that they're cool, but the price is too high. So we got some pre-production images of the Wave 2 of Redline, and it looks pretty cool. I think it's interesting how they're showing the prototypes, and then we go into each one individually with the colored versions of the renders. These are the renders, not the actual prototypes. So this got me thinking that we were going to completely do away with G1 and Red, and then Wave 3 goes back to G1. I'm not sure the future of this line and where it's going. It's interesting, but I might have to make my own video about why I think it's going to fail. I don't think Red has the lasting power, the staying power. It's nowhere near Star Wars Black Series or the Marvel Legends. So we're seeing that there's going to be the Voyager class Rhinox and a Voyager class Tigatron coming out, which is interesting for Beast Wars collectors, but it's also interesting that they've already made a Rhinox in 30th anniversary, which was good. So I'm wondering how much better this will be. Will it be a step backwards in the Rhinox? And of course, Tigatron hasn't seen any love since G1, or it's not really G1. I mean, that debate's for another day. But looking at all of this, what's coming up for Beast Wars, I really think they're testing the waters still to see how much interest there is in Beast Wars. And I think that's the whole Kingdom line is testing where are they gonna go next and still hold on to G1. But let's see how these things come out, how these things sell, and we'll see how much deeper they go into Beast Wars. Speaking of Beast Wars, there is some communication about some sort of a scavenger in the early works that might be Inferno. Now, Inferno is one of my probably top 10 characters in the Beast Wars franchise. I do like that one. And my buddy that owns a toy shop hooked me up with a G1 or the original version for $5, and I've got it in my Masterpiece display because it's in my short list in what I would like to see them make in the Masterpiece. But I have to say, if the mainline makes it, I'm going to have to pick it up to replace the G1 or the original because it's going to look way better. The original is not very good, to say the least. So it doesn't match the cartoon as well as I'd like it to. I'd like to see them remake this figure. But Scavenger's the name, so it's probably going to be the Transmetal version. So transitioning to some Star Wars news, I gotta say this most recent episode of The Mandalorian was outstanding. And can you tell by the picture what I like the most? Oh wow, we had the Lambda class Imperial shuttle Tidarium in there. Well, it's not the Tidarium. This shuttle is the Lambda class. It's the same. I love this vehicle. It's the best vehicle in Star Wars. It is the most elegant vehicle in Star Wars. And of course, the Emperor had it, so it was the most powerful vehicle. No, it's actually kind of weak. I like that they had this in there. It ties in to the original trilogy very well. It gives you that feeling of Star Wars. But the other thing is, there's so many other elements. They're tying in so many other elements of Star Wars that aren't even original trilogy, and it makes people like me that are trilogy lovers love more aspect of Star Wars. So next up, I got a really funny story from my travels, and I found this. This is really cool that Walmart's, the majority of Walmart's, are clearancing out the Black Series 40th anniversary for $11. Now, I actually wanted to get a couple when they came out. I got one of each, and I said, nope, I'm not buying any more because I know they'll clearance them out, and here they are. I wanted to get one to keep sealed and one to open. And I know my son is an opener and he wants these open, but that photoreal face on all these figures that were in the back in the day, they didn't have the photoreal face. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to open these. And plus that Han barely ever made it to retail. In fact, I don't know if it ever made it to any Walmart or Target. It only made it to specialty shops in my area. And that's one thing. But the other thing is, it's kind of funny that if you look at the price tags, they've got these populating vintage collection pegs, because there's no vintage collection figures anywhere in my area, anywhere. At any of the 7 Walmarts I went to, not one vintage collection figure. So why leave that peg empty? Let's just spread them all out. So we've got some Mando Monday to talk about. Now, Bo-Katan. Now I gotta tell you, Bo-Katan, I got it pre-ordered through GameStop for $13, but I'm sure they're gonna catch that and fix that and screw me over again, because GameStop likes to make mistakes, and it's my fault they made the mistake. I get punished that they make the mistake. Now it's $25. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have a seriously long conversation with GameStop, and I'm gonna argue over this. You know what? $10, $12, it's a principle. You all are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you can't get your prices straight, and I gotta pay for it? No thanks. We've got this archive wave, and you notice at the top right, top left, the 50 Lucasfilm. Now they said there's more to come on the 50 Lucasfilm, because this is nowhere near the 50th anniversary, so I'm curious exactly what's going on. Is it 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and so they're doing some other stuff that's going to come down the road? But anyway, we got the Death Trooper. Now this Death Trooper, first of all, if you play Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's the most powerful character in Battlefront 2, aside from, of course, all of the heroes and villains, but it's awesome looking on the shelf. I know I picked a few up from my buddy that's got a toy store for like $10 a piece, so I could fill out a shelf myself, loose. But now you get them for $20, new again. I think this thing was getting pretty expensive on the secondary market, so it's definitely a troop builder you want. Mando Monday gives us another troop builder with a Shore Trooper, which I still am not super in on these. I got a couple, but I never said like, hey, I want an army of this guy. But some people do. Like, some people want this so bad, they want this more than original Stormtroopers, which kind of blows my mind. But if you're one of those people, it's coming back out. And this really blows my mind also. Like, why'd they even make a hover tank driver if you're never, ever in your lifetime going to get a Black Series hover tank? I mean, I guess you could get the Vintage Collection hover tank. You could use it as a chair. But it's crazy that this thing is sought after also, so they make it again. It's going to be in the archive wave coming soon. And Tusken Raider. Will this be like the third or fourth iteration of this guy? Because I know they made him in the red box, and I know they made him on the Star Wars cardback. He was one of the 40th anniversary Star Wars, and I think he got a reissue on the red box, and now he's going to be in this. But here's the thing, Mandalorian's so big, and there's so much about the Tusken Raider that they got to put it back out. Now, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's a good idea, because you would want like 4 or 5 of these to fill out a scene. But there's not going to be a bantha. There's not going to be anything else to go with it. He's just going to be all lonely by himself, or lonely with his 5 other versions. So I was telling my mate, good old mate, Usual Mike, that once I receive my Rise of Skywalker, Sith Rey, Darkside Rey, when I get this figure, I will no longer have a use for any other Rey in my collection. All 9 of my other Reys are going to be sold. I'm going to get rid of them, because this is, in my mind, what they should have done with the trilogy. Made her go dark. I love this figure, everything about this figure, and I don't even want any other Reys. If you're near a Disney store, you might want to check and see if you can get a Boba Fett, but more than likely you'd be like me and drive an hour and a half just so you can find a bunch of Darth Mauls for $30. Now, I have like 3 or 4 Darth Mauls, I don't need another Darth Maul. I really don't. I think Black Series will give us another one. But this is a nice. Was it Diamond Select that's making these? I'm sure it's going to be good, but with so many populating the shelf and nobody wanting it, I'm sure it's going to go on sale. With all of the love for Boba Fett coming back, with the actor who played Jango Fett reprising the role, Jeremy Bulloch, who actually played Boba Fett, but you never saw his face. This actor died at age 75. It's kind of sad that he passed away, and it's one of those things that we keep losing the people who made Star Wars great. It's just a fact of reality. You know, nobody lives forever, and it's sad, and so we just kind of gotta commemorate these things and move on. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What else is going on out there that I missed? I really want to stay in touch with what's going on in the community in every aspect. Like and subscribe to Darehammer Hanger out.